At this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able, and please remove your hats for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Hello friends and welcome to your League One Ontario U20 Fall Final. My name's Pierce Lang. We are here at the Zanchin Automotive Soccer Centre in Vaughan, Ontario. And we are just as excited as you are for this one. It is Sigma FC taking on the Vaughan Azzurri. This should be one heck of a match here today. These two teams both finished top of the table, 1 and 2 in the Northeast Reserve Division. Your starting lineups here will include everyone you're going to see on the list here. A couple guys I'm going to want you to keep your eyes on today are Mr. Hodzic up front for Sigma, Mr. Bruno as well. Ogini, very tough player on the other side. We'd be remiss not to talk about Kylis Cooper or Matteo Caride. These two teams very familiar with each other. Talking to head coach John Zervos from Sigma. He said they've probably played against Vaughan, him against Anthony Vidori in one capacity or another as head coach or assistant coach probably 40, 50 times in their careers. Anthony Vidori saying that they've got such mutual respect for each other that they're both looking forward to this game. You'll notice Vidori, when the camera pans to him at some point, wearing a air cast right now. He ruptured his Achilles. Our first injury announcement of the day. He ruptured his Achilles playing in a U12 parent-player game for his daughter's side. But we'll get to your squads here. No real super injuries of note over on the Sigma side. Their keeper Makrogorgios looks like he's going to make it into today's match. He was a game time decision. They're also worried about Lucas Bulat, who's got an ankle he injured at a showcase in the U.S. at the BlackRock showcase. Then on the other side, it's not just the coach who's a bit hampered. Nathan Baker, who's normally the captain, had laser eye surgery a couple weeks ago. He has been getting a few minutes here and there. Look to him as a second half substitution. There are also concerns about a few other players, but it doesn't look like they're going to be out there on the pitch, so no worries there as Sigma work the ball back to Michael Macrogeorgios. This is Naj Holiday with the ball, taking his time. Surprises on the bench here for Vaughan is known commodity Alan Blagay is on the bench as Vaughan try and work the ball in there to Jack Hames. Hames, one of several players who came over from the TFC Academy at the end of this season, wanting to join the Vaughan Soccer Club, so well known for their ability to move players on to fantastic schools in the professional ranks. If you're watching this instead of the Canada-Suriname game, you'll notice tons of players in that match who've come through the ranks of these two clubs. This is Matteo Caride playing a ball out onto the wing for Priolo, and his ball going over the top and brought down. Played back for Hames. This is Luca Priolo. Priolo working his way back towards the box, but stopped in his tracks. Ball played right into the hands of Macrogeorgios. He'll have to forgive me if I've got the sniffles here. It is a chilly one tonight in Vaughan. Ball played back to Macrogeorgios. Holiday again, back to Macrogeorgios. Sigma so confident on the ball. You watch them here tonight. They're going to want to play out of the back every chance they get. Talking to head coach John Zervos ahead of the game, he describes his team's pattern of play as frenetic and eager to push the ball into space, keep guys moving at all times. He's asking his players to move and make the opposition uncomfortable. Expect a high press here tonight as Matteo Caride brings the ball in, and he's quickly fouled there by David Obikwe. Adriano Ianello over the ball right now. He's one of two players who scored a brace. Last time these two teams met, it was an absolute blowout. 6-1 in regular season competition. They did, however, meet 2 weeks ago at the Vaughan FTF Soccer Showcase, where the score was 2-1, a lot closer. They met earlier in the summer, and it was a 1-0 game there. So we're not expecting this one to be nearly the blowout we saw back in October. Macrogeorgios out of his goal to come scoop that one up off the turf. Ball over the top there, trying to engage Adrian White. He's dispossessed. Obikwe unable to make anything happen in the middle of the pitch. Jack Hames getting a ball up quickly. You can expect Vaughan to try and make things happen on the transition here today. Yanella with a shot in towards goal, and that's deflected off of Adrian White and out of bounds. Vaughan were 8-1-1 on the season. Their one loss coming against Scrissapi at the end of the season. They'd already clinched first and kind of were a bit lackadaisical in that performance. 39 goals for, 11 against. We've got a right-footed in-swinging kick coming on the corner, and it's going back post. Nobody there. Closest man to it, Andrea Cimini. He's battling in the corner trying to win possession here for his squad, and unable to do so. Coming away with it is Pelukafkis. And he's able to get it out of harm's way and up the pitch. Christopher Ogini taken down until when the foul. Ogini, 17 years old, got tons of minutes across several competitions, 11 games played, 3 goals at the League One Ontario U20 Reserve division during the regular season, 7 games, 2 goals here in the fall division. In the crossover, he had no goals, but 2 games played. And in the playoffs, he did appear last week against Blue Devils FC in that 1-0 victory that Sigma did have in their last playoff matchup. Vaughan had a very competitive matchup last week against North Mississauga. Went up 2-0 in that one, only to have North Mississauga storm back in the last 20 minutes and send it to penalties. Sigma offside. It was Campoli in goal for that shootout. He made the lone save in that one to win the victory for his side. As that ball's deflected off the back of Jack Hames. Play whistle down, however, and it's going to be a free kick coming here for the Azzurri. Cimini standing over this free kick right now. Cimini, one of 2 men playing the pivot here in this 4-3-3 setup for the Azzurri. It's Crede up top, Yanello on the left, and Priolo on the right. Hames playing at the top of that 3 in the middle with Cimini and Schwarstein laying deep on defense. Ibrahim on the left side in the back with Lorenzo Curry in the middle alongside him. It's looks to be Mikhail Lysenko. And then beside him, Christian Dewsbury. Starting in goal tonight. is Luca Campoli, as mentioned before. Ball through the middle here for Heems to run onto, getting it out wide for Priolo. Priolo, the other player who got 2 goals in that last matchup between these two sides. He's a tidy little player. Head coach Anthony Vidori saying how he likes to score in bunches, as proven in that example. Handball there on Adrian White. Priolo, an 18-year-old who saw minutes all over the place. League 2 Ontario. He got 2 goals in 4 games. In the playoffs, he had 2 more appearances in the fall season here. 3 goals in 4 games. So you can expect him to cause a bit of trouble for this Sigma side in the back. Already mentioned it's Michael Macrogeorgios in goal today for Sigma FC, and then the back 4 in this 4-3-3 is Oliver Klo wearing the captain's armband, Pelo Kafkis and Naj Holiday taking up the center spots in that back 4, with Adrian White on the right side. In front of him, Jose Masunda, who you should all be familiar with for his time with the League One Premier Division side and his time spent up on a developmental contract with Forge FC. Dewsbury getting the ball into the corner. Priolo putting a cross into the box, and handball there on Vaughan to put an end to that foray into the Sigma box. So beside Masunda is Zane Bruno, who's a player I think you're going to want to keep your eyes on. Number 10, another fellow who got some minutes with the League One Premier Division side. A big body too. I really was impressed with his performance against North Mississauga. He's got a bit of offensive flair. Likes to be creative and show what he's got in his locker. Definitely not shy. And it's Christopher Obuikwe in the middle with Massimo Kuda, and then Chris Ogini over on the left wing with Keenan Hodzic up top for Sigma FC. Ball launched here by Pelo Kafkis up onto the wing. Nothing working here for Sigma. They're looking to push the ball up into that left attacking corner, trying to get it in behind the back line, normally where Alan Blagay would be stationed. Blagay had a rough game against North Mississauga. Caught ball watching on both goals. We all know he's a little bit better than that, and he told Coach Anthony Vidori following the match that he's just exhausted, and Vidori could completely understand why, having played so many games over the last week and the week leading up to it with all the showcases these boys have been involved in. Fabulous sliding challenge there by Faris Ibrahim. You can expect to see him at Syracuse University next year. Ames playing a ball out wide for Priolo. Priolo working his way into the box, and a fabulous sliding challenge there by Klo. This is Kuda Well, it looks like we've got the wrong number here. It's Jose Masunda, rather that. That's Kuda with the late challenge. Faris Ibrahim will get up to his feet here.
You were.
Were they good?
Ready. Can we step off? Can we step off? I was looking at eight.
Campoli launching a ball up over half. Caride loses it, and this is Klo pushing it forward. Sorry, that was Zogini rather than that. Adrian White battling to get out of his own end, and he's going to decide to go back to Holiday. Kafkis on it now, plenty of time. Caride finally decides to apply a little bit of pressure on him. Ball lofted up over the top, and that's turned away by the Vaughan back line. Bit of a chess match here between these two sides, as you'd expect. Vaughan obviously so famous for so many of the players that have come through tonight. Starting for Canada against Suriname, Dane Sinclair and Alistair Johnston, two notable alumni from this Vaughan soccer club. And I think it goes without saying when you look at guys like Kyle Laren and Tajon Buchanan, Richie Larea, who all came through this Sigma side. And it's not just the players too. You look at the coaches who've come through here. That's been one of the big things that Anthony Vidori was talking about, how he was so impressed with what John Zervos has done at Sigma, having to fill in for Bobby Smyrniotis when he left to go coach at Forge, and he's had to deal with a similar scenario taking over for Patrice Geyser when he left for Halifax. Ibrahim to put the ball back into play. Caride tries to nod that onto Hames, and Bruno comes away with it. Bique going back for Klo, the captain. Klo making the underlapping run, but timing just a little bit off on that run for him to catch the eye of his man.
Hold on.
20 minutes deep here, friends. Still 0-0 between these two sides. I mentioned before how Sigma, or how Vaughan were 8-1-1 on the season. Over on the other side of the pitch here, Sigma were 9-2-0. Not the finish to the season they were hoping to have, losing to Vaughan 6-1 as they did, and then losing to Woodbridge as well. Squeaked through a match to close things out against Unionville as well. But they have so much experience at this squad. And they scored a bunch of goals, too. 34 for, 14 against. So Vaughan do win out in both those categories in a direct 1-to-1 matchup here as Masunda comes away with the ball, but he's turned around. Adrian White. Ianello working hard to break up that attempted attack from Keenan Hodzic. Kafkas giving it to Holiday. Ball over the top for Masunda. This will be Kuda trying to bring the ball down, and he does. Laying it off for Obikwe. Obikwe gets it out wide here, and quickly closing him down is Priolo. Ball into the middle, and that'll be dealt with without any trouble by Luca Campoli. Karide has his attempt to get the ball out wide for Ianello, stopped before it can get started. This is Ianello with the ball now, however. Popping it up for Karide. Karide nodding it on, but nobody's there. Coming away with it's Holiday. He'll get it back to Macrogeorgios. This is Hames losing it to Kuda. Ibrahim will step up and win the ball back for Vaughan. Ibrahim pushing up, swings the ball into the middle here, top of the box for Priolo. Priolo with it on his right foot, still on the ball. Priolo gets a shot off, but it's blocked, and that's going to go out for a corner kick. Ianello to take this corner. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger. Some big bodies in there. Cimini. Ooh, and we've got our first goal of the game. It bounced around and finally put away. Looks like it was Lorenzo Curry getting onto the end of that one. You'll see it here. The keeper went out for it and mishandled it, went through his feet, or through his hands, and sure enough, Lorenzo Curry give Vaughan Azzurri the lead here in the 24th minute.
Be ready for the long ball, the kickoff. Hey, be alert. Be alert.
You can tell, or you can hear Vaughan head coach Anthony Vidori telling his squad to stay alert. You know that this Sigma squad are going to want to get themselves back into this one as quickly as they can as Obikwe goes out wide. Kafkas.
Holiday goal in the 24th
Karide
minute,
closing
scored by
him
number
down.
24, Lorenz Curry.
Masunda trying to get around Ianello. This ball into the corner for Masunda to run onto, but Ibrahim will body him and escort that ball over the line and out for a throw-in. Ball turned over here for Kuda. Big shout out to our sponsors, CIBC. You'll notice every one of these teams has got a CIBC patch on their sleeve at the League One Ontario Premier Division a level just like they do in the CPL. Turnover here. Caride's on it now. Gets the roulette off in the middle of the box. Stays with it. Vaughan work the ball back around and try and reorganize. Lysenko laying it off here for Schwarstein. Schwarstein really turned things around this season. A lot of improvement seen from that young man as we got another opportunity. Vaughan pushing as they get it into the box and swung into the middle, headed away by Holiday. Lysenko. A wide for Ibrahim. White popping it up, but it'll be Hames on the ball, and he's dispossessed on the touchline, but that's out for a Vaughan throw in deep in enemy territory here. 27th minute of play, friends. It's 1-0 for Vaughan in your League One Ontario U20 Fall Reserve Division Final. Caride turning on the ball, and it's smashed out there by Holiday. Macrogeorgios getting it to Kafkas. You can see Vaughan have decided to continue to sit back and not waste too much energy chasing Sigma around in their own back end. Hames will get it off for the captain Chimini, and he plays a lovely ball, but Priolo's first touch lets him down deep in the Sigma end. You can hear John Zervos shouting instructions to Kafkas there that he's leaving men wide open over in that back left corner as they try and dump the ball over the back four. Curry lobbing a ball up for Caride. Nothing happening here for Vaughan in the Sigma end, but they win the corner kick. It's going to be Ianello as usual to take, and we'll see if there's any more magic in the middle here for the Azzurri as they scored on their last corner. Again, left-footed in-swinger. It's going front post, steered clear away from goal this time, but back in on the second wave of attack, and here it is on the boot of the captain, Chimini. Unable to make anything happen on that second phase. As we look at the replay here, a call against Chimini. Adrian White switching play, and this is going to be chased down by Kuda. No, sorry. That's not Kuda, that's probably Klo.
Yep.
White was then able to bring that down, and Vaughan will take over possession, and sliding challenge there from Zane Bruno, and he's going to get a yellow card here for a reckless tackle. Have another look at it here. You can see the disappointment from Bruno. Masunda trying to argue Bruno's case, but No doubt about it. Here is Bruno. Sees yellow in the 30th minute. Lysenko going back to Kempoli. Kuda heads that one back, and it's over the top from Curry.
Yellow card issue.
Kuda, the lovely sliding challenge. Bruno getting it out wide. Ogini integral to this attack over on that left side, and you can see the ball pinging around in the Vaughan box before Campoli dives on it, and he's going to take his time rising to his feet. Giving it to Curry. No, sorry. It was Lysenko. Rather that. My mistake. Chance here for Caride. Turnover in the box, and Mateo Caride smashes that one just wide of the goal. Have a look at it here as he got that, and he's going to be thinking about that one in his dreams tonight without a shadow of a doubt. That's a player you don't want to see with a loose ball in your own end if you're John Zervos or the Sigma back line. Four men in the box. Short corner. It's Ianello giving it up to Ibrahim, and Klo trying to get it out of his own end. Ball brought down in the box by Carida, and his shot deflected. And Macrogeorgios slows things down. Sigma look to play it out of the back again. White brings it down at half. Slips a pass through for Masunda to run onto, but Campoli will come flying out of his net to put an end to Sigma's charge into the Vaughan box. Bruno bringing it down in the middle. Bruno on a yellow. He's going to want to be careful sliding in for challenges like that. Ianello. This is Caride playing it back for Cimini. Cimini lobbing the back line, but Priolo unable to chase that ball down.
Pick off. Yeah, watch this. I see it, don't worry. Easy. Yeah, I see it. Christian.
Holiday, plenty of time. No one really giving him too much to worry about, and teams decided to step up there, and Sigma turned the ball over here for another Vaughan throw-in. 34th minute of play. It's 1-0, friends. Vaughan with the lone goal here so far. Lorenzo Curry scoring that in the 24th minute. Ibrahim stood up at the edge of the box by Masunda. Vaughan throw coming here. Schwarstein going back to Lysenko. This is Curry. Curry with a bit of room in front of him as he crosses half. Trying to get Priolo engaged. Bique getting it out wide, and you can see how quickly Vaughan are working to win the ball back. Campoli watches that ball go over his net, and we'll take this opportunity to thank Gatorade for their sponsorship of this evening's festivities. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel with Gatorade. I'm a big classic yellow Gatorade. I don't need all this fancy blue stuff or that weird white one. Who's drinking that? Not me. Too spicy for my taste buds. Caride brings the ball down and tries the cheeky back heel, but maybe not the right place for that move, as Adrian White has his pass picked off, but he gets it back again on the second phase of this attack. He goes back for Holiday, and Holiday's got a bit of room in front of him. Michael Macrogeorgios getting it over here for Nudge Holiday. Holiday working his way into the middle. Feels the presence of Ianello and decides to get the ball off his foot and over to Pelo Kafkas. Kafkas launching an attack and just a little bit off target, and Curry will let that one go all the way back to Campoli. Lysenko gave it to Schwarstein, and Schwarstein had his ball turned around. This is Schwarstein again. Call going to go the way of Sigma as Kuda was knocked to the ground. Kuda gives up a bit of size here to his opponents in the middle of the pitch, but he's very crafty. I've had a chance to watch him a couple times over the last several months. Shifty little player. Absolutely everything you'd expect from a midfielder wearing that Sigma blue jersey. Reads the game well, finds open space, can run all day long. This is Zane Bruno over the ball. Not entirely out of the question for this young man to fire a ball from here as the two-man wall lines up in front of him. Campoli on his line, and he does whistle a shot just wide of the net. Campoli looking for Ianello. Bruno with it once more. Another big shout out to the Cruyff Institute, proud sponsors of this evening's match and everything that we get here from League One Ontario. Educating athletes, sport and business professionals to become leaders in sport management. It's the Cruyff Institute. They came on this year and they've been a big help in making this all possible. Ibrahim cuts back to avoid Masunda. Curry gets it out wide. Dewsbury giving chase, but popped up into the air by the captain, Oliver Clough.
Go, Jack, go! Go!
Clough got into 3 games this season in the Premier Division. 148 minutes played, no goals, no yellow cards, no red cards, but he's not known to be a goal scorer playing in the back four. And he's only 17 years old, so cut the boy some slack. He's got a great future ahead of him, as do all these young men. Ball popped up into the box and finally cleared by Ibrahim. Masunda had a look to goal, but unable to find the target. As you would expect in a League One Ontario final, we're playing with Derby Star balls. Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League and preferred match ball of League One Ontario. Look at that beautiful Derby Star ball brought down by Mateo Caride. Giving it back for Dewsbury. Priola with it now, but he's bodied off the ball there by Oliver Clough. Holiday getting it out wide for Kuda.
That shouldn't be Jack there, you know. You go. Fair footed. We'll match up.
No, there's 3 against Jim Barrett.
Goes in. Better ball.
Yeah. 42nd minute of play here, friends. Shots on target, 2 for Vaughan, 1 for Sigma. Shots off target the other way. 2 for Sigma, 1 for Vaughan. 3 apiece, really, in the shots department. If my math serves me correct, I was never a calculus guy. Ball into the box, headed clear by Curry. Ball pushed out wide here for Adrian White. Cleared by Ianello, and Hames runs onto that. Hames is a fun player to watch. He patrols the middle of the pitch. Likes to get stuck in on a strong challenge and places balls beautifully into the pass, or into the path of his teammates. This is Clough. The captain lofts a ball into the Vaughan box, but it's headed clear by Curry once again. Bruno scoops the ball up into the air, but nobody to run onto that one in blue. Kafkis getting it up to Bruno. Bique going back for White. Or sorry, Holiday. Another ball into the box and headed away by Lysenko. Bit too much mustard on that one for Ianello to get on to the end of. The wind's really whipping up here all of a sudden in the press box. If you can see the flags at any point in that far corner of the Vaughan end, you can see it's starting to cool down here just a touch, friends. Currently, the weather app says it's 7 degrees. I think it's lying. It's been wrong once before. It's a cloudy one here, which generally, as I've come to understand it, not that I'm a meteorologist, but that supposedly makes it warmer. We'll have to ask. Weather specialist Laura Twidle, League One Ontario Women's Division legend. She's our resident weather expert. If you don't know, check her LinkedIn bio.
I'll take it.
Caride goes to ground, looking for the foul there on Holiday, but No call from our
Fourth official has indicated there'll be a minimum of
referee
1
this
minute of
evening.
added time.
Sounds like we're going to have about a minute of additional time added on to this first half. Again, it was Lorenzo Curry scoring in the 24th minute to match his jersey number. Caride with the ball at the edge of the box, gets past Klo and puts a shot towards goal and smashes that over the bar and out for Macariorios goal kick. That's it, folks. 1-0 the score going into the break. Vaughan leading this one through Lorenzo Curry, who scored in the 24th minute of play. My name's Pierce Lang. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with your second half of action. Go grab yourself a snack. Go grab yourselves a Gatorade, and we'll be right back with the second half of your men's U20 Fall Reserve Division Final.
The halftime score is Sigma FC 0, Vaughan FC 1.
You got time, Mark?
Welcome back here, friends, for your second half of action in the League One Ontario Men's U20 Fall Reserve Division Championship game between Sigma FC and the Vaughan Azzurri. A couple substitutions made here at half. I can tell you right away, Nathan Baker's in the middle of the pitch for Vaughan. I know Sigma will have made some changes here. We'll try and get those updated for you. Looks like Alan Blaguez also made his way onto the pitch here for the second half of action. For the Azzurri, here he is now popping a ball up into the air. That's nodded back by Ogini. This is the aforementioned Nathan Baker. Young fella just had laser eye surgery, as I mentioned at the start of this match. Just found out the other day, that doesn't mean he can shoot lasers from his eyes, surprisingly. Here I thought he was like Cyclops on the X-Men, but he is not. Mateo Caride is going to leave that ball, and it'll get left again for Ibrahim. Still trying to figure out who our new men are out on the pitch for Sigma. We haven't got an update to the app here, unfortunately. Priolo going to ground.
Let's go. Pull out wide, man. Hold. Take your left. Time. Make coming now. Up,
Had a chance to talk to both head coaches at the half to get their thoughts on what we saw. John Zervos saying that the first 20 minutes his team weren't really settled. On the goal, that's one his keeper would normally handle, so hard to put a ton of anger into the halftime talk about that. So there's a few changes and tweaks they're going to make. It looks like those are all tactical at this stage as he's brought out what appears to be the same team. As Campoli plays it to Curry, and Curry will push that ball out of bounds.
No need to play.
Anthony Badori thought it was a pretty conservative performance from both sides. And I asked him if maybe there was just a little bit too much respect being shown by each side, and he said it sure would appear that way. Curry nodding that ball up to Caride. Caride brings it down. The big man getting it up to Baker. Baker sneaking out of some danger and getting a ball up for Ianello. Ianello cutting in on his right foot. Ianello pops it up over for Priolo. Priolo with it at the top of the box. Cimini giving it to Heems, and a sprawling save there by Macrogeorgios. Macrogeorgios getting it out wide. Chance coming here, shot in towards goal, and Campoli popped that one up and pulled it right back down again. Kafkas heading that ball out. Lone goal so far coming from Lorenza Curry. Scored in the 24th minute. Where's number 24 as well? AJ Sabatin getting in the throw. He's one of our substitutions here, and a chance coming off the boot of Kylis Cooper. He's one of the other substitutions for Sigma. Cooper, a player you're going to want to keep your eyes on. 17-year-old. Got some minutes with the League Two Ontario side this season, but predominantly a U20 reserve player. Crafty young fella. Here's Priolo trying to turn with it. Ibrahim getting away with a handball. Baker on the ball now, and he'll knock that one out of bounds. This is Masunda. Or sorry, Obikwe, rather that, not Masunda. Looks like Masunda's moved a little bit further up the pitch. Blagay heading that one on. I mentioned it before, Blagay called into the national team camp some while back. Won a League One Ontario championship in 2023 with Simcoe County Rovers. 17 games played with Sigma and League One Ontario's Premier Division for Blagay. 1,100 minutes for the young 18-year-old defender. He's decided to come back to Vaughan, where he played his youth career. He was welcomed back with open arms by Anthony Vidori. Offside there as Ogini received the ball just in front of Blagay. Both these sides, we're in Macron today. We want to give Macron a big shout out. Work hard, play harder. That's Macron's tagline as Baker gets whistled down for flying into the back of his man in the middle of the pitch. I imagine Obikwe's fine after that challenge. This is Cooper. So far, a rather quiet performance from Mateo Caride. That brings us to vibrant performance, Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories. Makariorios giving it to Kafkas. Kafkas playing a ball over the top, but Blagay is there. Probably could have brought that one down. Now Masunda with it, moving into the middle of the pitch. Masunda with it on his right foot, gets it out onto the wing. Cooper with a low hard shot into Campoli, and Campoli stops that one dead in his 6-yard box. Baker turning and firing, and he was hoping to get that to Priolo, but Kafka stepped up and won the ball back for Sigma. A wide now for Ogini. Christopher Ogini with his head up decides to switch play. Running onto that one was Cooper, and Cooper was unable to connect with that as he tried to hit it first time at the edge of the 6. Let's have a look at that one again as Cooper was there. Glorious opportunity, just unable to connect. Ibrahim, watch that one go past him. Campoli smashing a ball up to Caride. Blagay with a man on him. Ogini brings it down. Chamini on him. Kafkas, or sorry, that's not Kafkas, that's Sabatin. Baker whistled down for another foul. Kuda tried to get it into play quickly, but Vaughan running a little bit of interference on the restart. This is Kafkas. Sabatin with it now. Sabatin unable to get around Priolo. That's going to go out off the shin of Priolo for a Sigma throw-in here in the 57th minute of play. Kuda with it now, trying to get away from Priolo. He slips one through here for Zane Bruno. Sabatin with the ball across the face of goal, and onto that one was Ibrahim. Here's Ibrahim sliding up the pitch. Priolo on it now. Priolo in on Kafkas. Kafkas with a really nice tackle there. Ogini walked himself out of bounds. Pretty obvious from here that he went over the line. These boys like Alan Blagay here, who had a look from Pacific FC on a trial and Vancouver FC. It's kind of really the dream, and we want to give a shout out to the Canadian Premier League, where Canadian soccer takes flight. And One Soccer, if you're not watching One Soccer right now, they're probably doing their post-game coverage after Canada's 1-0 victory over Suriname. Baker slipping a pass through. This is Priola. Priola with a right-footed shot and a save there from Macroyorios and off of the post. My goodness. Nearly 2-0 for Vaughan there. I was talking about One Soccer. They're going to want this set of highlights on their next package, because One Soccer is the home for soccer in Canada. Join the movement and watch every CPL and Canadian national team match from any device, like your cell phone, tablet, computer. I think you can get it on Roku. I actually happen to watch on Fubo, so if you've got a Fubo membership, you can watch the Canadian Premier League and One Soccer on there. Ooh, great little move there by Priolo, and he's in alone on goal. Priolo hit on Macroyorios, and Macroyorios makes a huge save, coming out to make himself as big as possible, taking that ball off the chest, but he's up to his feet. Fantastic work there from the 17-year-old Macroyorios. Got into 4 League One Ontario Premier Division games this season. Well, he was on the bench for them at least. Doesn't appear as though he has any stats here. I'm keeping up to date on all the stats by using the League One app. You can check the scores and standings from all across League One League One Canada rather, that using this fantastic little bit of software. I track the timeline of the game usually to keep track of all your substitutions and all your goals and yellow cards, red cards. You get your lineups, everything there. Masunda giving it back there for Sabatin. Corner kick coming for Sigma in the 62nd minute of play. Looks like it's Masunda and Kudo over the ball right now.
Shot drop! Shot drop!
Masunda wishing he got a little bit more of that, but he makes up for it, winning the ball back. Left-footed ball blocked by Caride and out for another corner kick. Sigma looking to get it in quickly on the short corner. They do. Kuda with it now. Kuda giving it back to Masunda. Masunda playing a ball into the box, back post, and that's headed just wide of the goal by Pelo Kafkas. Kafkas, another 17-year-old, getting into the game here for Sigma. Played 11 games for Sigma in the reserve division over the summer, 7 more here over the fall season. Shot in towards goal by Cooper, and that well off target. Mentioned before, this is a bit of a chess match we're seeing here today from these two sides, especially considering the last time that they met in League One Ontario U20 Reserve Division competition. It was 6-1. Mateo Caride scoring in the second minute of play to open things up. And it's funny, Sigma were able to stave off the Vaughan attack as we give a shout out to sponsors One Soccer once again. Yeah, Sigma were able to stave off the attack in that first half, going the next 43 minutes of the first 45 without giving up another goal, but Priolo got Vaughan back on the board twice in the first 4 minutes of the second half in that match, and head coach John Zervos telling me that his team just couldn't recover after that. They had the wind sucked out from their sails, and there was no turning things back around after that. But it is a young group. Most of these players are 2007 born. Ibrahim. Ball deflected, headed away. Bruno getting a foot to it, but it's Schwarzstein who won the ball for Vaughan. Priolo bringing it down. Priolo unable to get anything done. Ibrahim chests it down and gets it back to Priolo. Priolo with it still. Kuda comes away with it for Sigma. And Hames is going to get whistled down for the foul as he charged into the back of Massimo Kuda. There'll be a yellow card here for Hames. Kylis Cooper came into this match. He's coming off an injury. Probably why he was resting up for that first 45. Now is Cooper playing a ball up for Zane Bruno. This is Jose Masunda. Masunda working it onto his right foot as he creeps into the box, and he puts that one out off of Curry, and it's going to be another Sigma corner kick.
Minute, number 21, Adriano Ianello.
Oh, it was my mistake. It was Adriano Ianello there, not Hames. Sorry, I got my 21 and my 22 mixed up there. Ball into the box. Campoli fists that one away. Cooper brings it down and puts the ball into the box. Holiday trying to make something happen here, and it's Shamini getting a foot to it. I'll go out for a Sigma throw in. Looks like we're going to have a Sigma substitution here in the 68th minute of play.
I have to go all the way to the ravine back there.
Well, it looks like they're going to hold off for a second. No, Massimo Kuda coming out, and in place of him will be number 8, Amr Baza. Baza got minutes with the League 2 Championship squad this summer, and then a ton of time spent with the U20 reserves. This is Masunda, stood up by Cimini. Caride going to ground.
Jose! Come here!
Sabatin getting a talking to there from our referee, and I didn't give a proper shout out here to our officiating crew. Our referee tonight is Parsa Noruzain, and his assistants are Anu Shah and Jason Simrak. Fourth official is Mariusz Bukowski. Are you interested in becoming a referee? Ontario Soccer wants to hear from you, my friends. Please visit ontariosoccer.net/recruitment for more details. Campoli picks the ball up and tells his squad to push up the pitch. As Campoli smashes the ball up over half. Masunda getting it out wide. Ogini with Blagay on him. Lovely work there by... Oh, we've got a... Yeah, it's frozen here. It was Dewsbury was the name I was looking for. Opportunity knocking. This is Ianello, left-footed shot, and it's blocked. And Makariorios pulls that one down and quickly throws it out wide for Kafkas. Or Sabatin, rather, that. Sabatin and Kafkas here with similar haircuts and stature. Blagay is going to watch that one go out of bounds, and he'll take the throw. Blagay plays a high-risk, high-reward game. He does like to push up the pitch. This is Ianello. Play switched for Ibrahim. Ball into the box, and Caride was there, and uncharacteristic mistouch from Caride, and Sigma are coming back the other way. Ball popped up into the air by Dewsbury. Blagay battling hard, and he goes to ground. Saying Bruno switching play. Campoli out of his goal. Campoli's going to take his time to wait till the last second to pick it up as Cooper came running in towards him. Campoli smacks the leather off of that ball as he sends it up over half. This is Baker pushing it up for Priolo. Priolo got a touch to it, and he's able to save it in a sliding challenge there from AJ Sabatin. One of the seniors on this squad, 18 years of age. Sabatin. He'll be collecting a pension in no time. Looks like Oliver Close going to make his way back into this match for Sigma, and then it'll be Stefan Bali coming in with Jelani Braithwaite. Funny moment for Braithwaite in the last match these two teams played in the regular season. He was saved on a penalty kick, and then there was another penalty awarded moments later, and he put his hand up right away wanting to get revenge on the keeper, but they decided that maybe it would be time for someone else to take a kick, and it was Jaden DJ who scored on that penalty for Vaughan. Ball played up for Masunda to run on to, and he's met by Curry, and that ball pushed out for a throw-in. Masunda puts it back into play. And there it is, folks. Your equalizer, scored by Kylis Cooper. Great ball into the middle, and you'll see it here. Cooper right there, and he makes no mistake slotting that one past Campoli. One here, friends, in the 75th minute of play. They're calling it 74th minute there. It was right at the turn of the minute. Kylis Cooper getting the equalizer. You can't blink. Don't look away for a split second, or you might miss the action. I was looking down to make sure my notebook didn't get blown off the ledge here, and I missed it. I'll be honest. As Alan Blagay rises to meet that ball, Blagay brings it down and gets it into the path of his man Stefan Bali. Blagay playing it back. Priolo to Caride. Caride battling here against Kafka. Or Kafkas, rather, that Macroyorios punching that ball.
Sigma FC goals in the 74th minute, scored by number 11, Kylis Cooper.
Blagay on the ball, he's so strong. Caride brings it down, top of the box. Caride onto his right foot, goes in, sliding to win the ball back. Caride still battling. Nathan Baker brings it down. He's going to have a shot towards goal, and Macroyorios will sprawl to his left and make that save. Holiday getting it out wide. Holiday with the ball over the top, and Campoli's there to meet it. Nobody in blue was. Baker bringing it down at half, and he quickly turns and fires. Holiday gets to it first for Sigma and puts that ball out as Jelani Braithwaite was charging up the pitch. It's the 78th minute of play here, friends, and have another look at Caride sliding in to win that ball back for Vaughan. Both coaches thought this game was going to be a lot closer than the last time they met in League One Ontario action, and it's proven to be as such, as Masunda's running onto a ball. Blagay giving chaser. Sorry, that's not Blagay. That's Dewsbury, rather, that. Dewsbury whistled down for the foul. Have another look at it here as Masunda tried to get around him, and he clipped his heels. The League One Ontario staff here delicately organizing the medals as the sand slips through the hourglass. Cooper and Zane Bruno standing over the ball. Zane Bruno puts his right foot on it. Campoli punches it away. Priolo and Sabatin battling for that ball. Ball goes out wide for Cooper. Cooper, a right-footed ball into the box. Curry getting to that. Finally squeaks out of the Vaughan box, but right back in again on the second phase, but offside the call there on Oliver Close. Pushed well up the pitch. He was playing left back to start this match. Caride and Ogini met there with both of them going to ground on that challenge. Referee Norazane putting his whistle to his mouth there to stop the play. It's going to be a Sigma free kick here in the 80th minute of play. Lofted into the box, back post. Kafka's unable to connect with that ball. Campoli putting a boot through that ball. It gets caught up in the air. Priolo let down by his touch as he puts that ball out quickly back into play. This is Curry with it now. Curry lumping it up towards Baker, but he waited for it and it was steered clear by Sabatin. This is Jelani Braithwaite slipping it through to Baker. Baker on to Priolo. Priolo brings it down. Priolo with it at the edge of the box. Priolo with his head up, swings across in, and Macriorios is there to catch that ball, and he's going to roll it out quickly. As Sigma see some gaps, and they've decided to play it up quickly now. Clow with it. Dewsbury was able to clear. Caride's been quiet here so far today, not getting the service that I'm sure he'd hoped for tonight. Kafka's out wide for Sabatin. Sabatin with Priolo on him. This is Kylis Cooper. Cooper's pass well off target, and it's going to be a Vaughan throw. Norazane telling Blagay to back that throw up. I personally would have called a handball there on Zane Bruno, but Norazane decided otherwise. But that's just me, you know. That's why I'm up here and he's down there. Dewsbury smashes the ball up into the air. Daza got on to the end of it for Sigma, and he's pushed it out wide here for Ogini. Ogini with a step over. Ogini trying to get around Braithwaite, and it's going to be Dewsbury on the ball once more for Vaughan. Lovely pass through there for Caride. Looks like, well, that wasn't Caride, sorry. That's my mistake. That's Bali over on the left side. Karide rarely comes back too far into his own end, and ooh, a lovely chance there as Masunda tried to redirect that ball in towards goal. You see it there, but he would have been offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. Still kind of exciting though, right? We've not seen a ton of chances here in the second half, so something to get the blood pumping. Masunda running under that one. Cooper comes away with it. He turns, gets the better of Legay and puts a ball into the middle, and Bruno was there. Bruno getting the call as that one went off of Curry, according to referee Nuruzain, and it'll be Kylis Cooper to take this corner. Seven men in the box here for Sigma as Cooper hits a right-footed ball going back post. Campoli wasn't able to get a fist to it. This is Ogini with it now, swings another ball in, and it's steered away by Dewsbury. This is Jelani Braithwaite. His clearance only gets as far as Sabatin. Sabatin puts a ball into the box, and it's Bali who got to it for Vaughan, and here we go with Vaughan. Priolo again alone on goal. Priolo with a shot in towards the net, and he's broken the deadlock, and it's Priolo giving Vaughan the lead. Luca Priolo, number 7, here in the 85th minute, and things are about to get real wild here at the Zenchin Automotive Soccer Center in Vaughan, as the Azzurri have pushed themselves into the lead with the better part of 4 minutes left in this one, friends.
Vaughan Azzurri goal in the 85th minute, scored by number 7, Luca Priolo.
And the fans are letting themselves be heard, and we're going to have another substitution coming into the game for Vaughan. It'll be Mikhail Lishenko coming back in. He's coming in place of the goal scorer, Luca Priolo. Vaughan head coach Anthony Vidori. To use an expression here for all you old people like me, he's going to batten down the hatchets. Going defensive. Parking the bus by the looks of it. Trying to catch Sigma on the counter, but he knows pressure is going to be coming. Taking out one of his men from his front three to put in another defensive player. Here's Zane Bruno getting it out wide. Kylis Cooper into the corner. Or sorry, rather that was Clough. Clough showing his frustration, smashing that ball into the turf. Throw in towards the box, and it's Zane Bruno bringing it down. Carita getting it up to Baker. Baker with his head up, and he's taken down. It's going to be a yellow card coming here. Let's get confirmation. It looks like it was Kafkas. No, it's Sabatin. Kafkas has moved up the pitch. Yellow card. In the 88th minute of play. This is Baker with it at the touchline. Baker with it still. Rocking the captain's armband here in the second half, and a sliding challenge, and the ball squirts free to Jelani Braithwaite, and that, whoa, I really liked that tackle. I'm going to have words with referee Norzani after the game. That's why they pay them the big bucks, though. He had a better look at it than I did. Obviously biased, because I like a good hard challenge. The Irishman and me just, oh, you love to see it, but not tonight, folks. Campoli bringing the ball down and goes to ground. I don't know how I feel about that when the keeper goes to ground in an instance like that, but no call from the referee. He gets rid of it, and Baker nods it on to Braithwaite. Baker getting it through to Braithwaite, and Braithwaite hits a shot in towards goal, and he smashes that one over the bar, and you could see the disappointment on his face when he turned around there. Vaughan still with the lead here. Sigma running out of time to get themselves back into this one. Senko applying pressure. Lovely work there by Dewsbury, but he puts the ball off the back of Blagay. Cooper battling with Blagay, and it's finally pumped up to Baker. Baker trying to get around his man, and David Obikwe coming away with it. We're going to have 3 minutes of free soccer here, friends. Ball out wide and brought in by Stefan Bali. Bali still battling, continuing to kill time off the clock. He's got it to Blagay. Blagay dancing up the sideline, and that's going to be put out by Zane Bruno, and Blagay will take the throw. Blagay taking his time to get this one back in to play. Baker dancing in the corner, and it's going to be a goal kick for Sigma. So we've got about 2 minutes left in additional time. Sigma are going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at Vaughan here as Kylis Cooper receives the ball on this near sideline. Puts it in for Zane Bruno. Bruno turning and fires. Ibrahim gets onto the ladder and climbs to meet that ball. Karide deep in his own end here to win that ball back for Vaughan, and he'll win the call. More time ticks off the clock. Campoli lays into this ball and smashes it up towards Baker.
Drop it. Hey, Jelani, drop!
Everybody pushing up for Sigma. Nobody really hanging back as Baker's going to bring this one down on the far side of the pitch. Baker with a full head of steam charging up that left side. Baker taken down.
Hey, Barrett, stay tucked in.
Professional foul there by Oliver Clough on the far side of the pitch. Karide to take the free kick, and he smashes that one up for Jelani Braithwaite to run under. Chance coming here for Vaughan, and steered away. It's Obikwe coming away with it. Great work there by Vaughan. Oh, crunching tackle there from Kafkas. Braithwaite puts it into the corner for Stefan Bally to run onto. It's going to be collected by Obikwe again. Obikwe on it. Dewsbury heading it back into the Sigma end, and that's it, folks. Vaughan Azzurri escape from a near disaster in this one. They took the lead in the 24th minute through Curry. And then it was Kylis Cooper tying things up in the 74th minute, and 11 minutes later, Luca Priolo plays the savior and pulls one out of the bag for the Azzurri. Have a look at your final stats here. Close in shots. Vaughan with the 3-shot lead in that one, but twice as many on target. Corners were almost even. Pretty even in fouls, and Sigma with, would you call it an advantage in yellow cards? I don't think so. They had more, but perspective is everything, right? And you see the boys shaking hands here. They'll be seeing each other again soon enough, I'm sure. Have another look at Curry's goal here. Mishandled by Macroyorios, and Curry got a foot to it and poked it in to open things up for the Azzurri. And then this was the equalizer as Klo put it in for Kylis Cooper, and he punched that one past Campoli. And this was your game winner as Priolo slipped the ball past Macroyorios, and that's all she wrote, folks. Vaughan, your 2024 League One Ontario U20 Fall Reserve Division champions. These two teams will be seeing each other again in no time. Have another look at your final match stats here. Final performances from all these boys. This is our last game of the year for League One Ontario.
Welcome the officials to the table to receive.
It's been a ton of fun bringing you these games this season. We had a first look at what things are like with promotion and relegation. I know I had such a fantastic time calling that League One Championship Premier Division promotion relegation match down in St. Catharines back in September when the St. Catharines Roma Wolves defeated Guelph United, knocking Guelph down into the championship, and St. Catharines pulling off, I think, 9 games undefeated to finish off this season. They got into that game because TFC decided they were going to pull out for next season, and while they've decided to leave, next year we're going to see York United entering a team into the championship division as our officials smile for some pictures here. Big shout out to the boys in red here today. Again, Parsa Norazain in the middle with Anuj Shah and Jason Simrak on the sidelines, and it was Mariusz Bakovsky doing a fantastic job keeping the coaches in line as the 4th official. We see the Sigma players getting their silver medals. Macriorios pulling his medal off right away. And common sight here for the finalists to take the medals off right away. Macriorios, you could hear his medal flinging and bouncing off the concrete as he threw his to ground here in disgust and disappointment, but he should hold his head up high. He had a fantastic season this year, and hard to put the blame on him on either of those goals. I know he'll be disappointed after that first one, but these things happen, young man. You're gonna have so many more games ahead of you in your career. Masunda walking away here, getting a high five from head coach John Zervos. He's a young man who's got so much to look forward to, and now it's the champions. Vaughan Azzurri. I talked about it before. They had a fantastic run into this championship game, going 8-1-1 in this League One Ontario U20 Reserve Division fall season. 39 goals for and 11 against, and it's the captain, Cimini. Well, Baker was wearing the armband in the second half, Cimini in the first. Schwarzstein played so well today, and here's the goal scorer, Luca Priolo, walking away with his championship medal. He turned things on here at the end of the season. These boys, so much to be proud of. A fabulous performance here today. Jelani Braithwaite all smiles as he receives his medal. Campoli can hold his head up high. He did so well tonight. Ibrahim walking away with his medal around his neck. He's off to Syracuse next year. So many of these boys will go on to bigger and better things once they leave this club, but still plenty of time to get in some minutes. Here's Alan Bloquet, such a talented young man, and we'll have plenty to look out for from him as he continues his career. And you see the boys on the bench getting their medals. It's head coach Anthony Vidori at the back of the line here with his daughter hand in hand. Such a tall task for him to take over the high performance end of this club, with Patrice Geyser leaving for the Canadian Premier League last year, and we'll have the trophy lift here once they get the table out of the way. League One Ontario photographer Martin Basil getting the money shot here as Nathan Baker stands with League One Ontario's Chris Keem, and Andrea Cimini and the rest of the team surround the two captains here for the trophy raising. And here it is, folks, your 2024 League One Ontario Men's U20 Fall Reserve Division Champions, Vaughan Azzurri basking it, boys. Congratulations to everyone involved in this championship season for the Azzurri. From everyone here at League One Ontario, my name is Pierce Lang. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next season for all your League One Ontario action.
Yeah.
You got it? Alright. Let's get out of this shit show. I mean, this is fun. Nope. Okay. Oh, frozen? Yeah. Supposed to be keeping it warm.